been a minute. Welcome back to CVTV, Clear Vision Television. I'm Spacey.
I'm Trenton. I'm new around here. I hope you're excited to see me.
And yeah, so we took about a year hiatus, and here's what you missed on CVTV.
Feeling a little spacey.
It's 2023 now. It's been about a year since live music's been a thing again.
That's actually a trip. It has been like about a year since everything's pretty much opened back up, and there's a crazy huge psych wave that's happening right now. At least here in LA, it's getting crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, just DIY culture in general. I feel like there's just been a huge resurgence, or like the youth's really interested in getting out there and creating.
Like TikTok, for all that it is, it's honestly kind of leading the charge of this new way of like getting to see DIY shows and like wanting to be a part of that culture. It's like a lot of new bodies are coming in, and it's really, really exciting.
Facts. Like honestly, this year even in LA, the first show that we got to go cover is Pennyback's Winter Mass. Had some heavy fucking hitters like Blackwater Holylight, the Mainliners. Even even those pre-shows were fire with Rocket 9 and Rinse and Repeat. So
and Osborne on the second day. That's crazy.
Insane lineups. Definitely worth checking out. We got some recaps on our YouTube channel here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to stay tapped the fuck in.
We also got to put on our first ever Crush Me Fest this Valentine's Day with huge bands like Glossy, who is the homie, and then
shout out So Vain.
Hustler, oh my
real ones.
Velveteen, who is honestly my favorite two-piece now, like in the entire valley.
Killing it. Out from Long Beach, we had Human Music and Sun Jelly pull up from San Diego.
Yeah, it was it was a beautiful event, and everybody there was just having a good time, love and energy. It was amazing.
So sick. The Universal Bar and Grill is out in North Hollywood, so feel free to check it out. We're throwing a show there on Earth Day, Earthlings Fest.
Yes, sir. And get ready because we have Earth Ship coming down from Slow, and then we also have Hot Knife, who is just in this insane heavy project.
Yeah, and can't forget Au Revoir Heart. We included them in our latest issue of our magazine, out from Orange County area.
Out now. Get that shit.
Run that shit. Psychedelic rock. Speaking of psychedelic rock too, there's hella shows happening across the United States right now. We got the Freak Out Weekender up in Seattle with Viagra Boys and Frankie and the Witch Fingers.
The legendary Austin Psych Out Fest, which is gonna be literally the most insane thing. Kuko, Melody's Echo Chamber, Acid Mother's Temple, anybody that is like
Toro Noir.
Oh, shout out Toro, bro.
Yeah.
But this is the one to go to. And also, big shout out to the No Fun venue in New York for just pulling the fucking psych train out to New York and making it very, very accessible to see fucking insane psych music. That's insane.
Yeah, coming up quick too, shout out Shebang. It's a music festival out in San Luis Obispo happening May 5th and 6th. Got some heavy hitters on that one as well, like Death Valley Girls.
Oh, Men I Trust. Yeah, Hippocampus.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
That one, we're gonna be pulling up at a table there, so you should definitely come mob out and say what's good to us.
Yeah, you know, you'll be dialing up 1-800-TAP the fucking quicker than you can fucking hop in the circle pit. So let's get this shit. Hey, the new issues just landed. You know what also dropped recently? All these tracks that you're gonna hear today, if you've ever tapped into CVTV, you know that Clear Vision likes to put you onto new music. So these are the new songs that came out in the last few months.
First up, we have X of with his new track Upright, the homie, Slow-Fi legend, tapping into some brand new bedroom pop sound, some new indie shit. You're gonna get with it.
Heard he also wants to start a band, so you might be seeing some X of live on the horizon. You know it's also on the horizon, at least in the Portland area or Washington right now? The LA punk band Glossy's on a little mini tour and they just dropped a track called Up and Up.
Get ready because Glossy's gonna rock your shit when they come to your area.
Facts.
Next up, we have Hot Brothers back with a new track called Dog Collar. Hot Brothers are back with a new lineup, new songs, new energy, new year, new bros. It's gonna be
so
sick.
wild. I honestly met one of the homies from Hot Brothers in math class at Cal Poly, honestly. What the fuck? Shout out Pennyback.
Shout out Pennyback.
Honestly, on the similar vibe, Osborne recently just played a Pennyback release show. Also in this issue, if you want to check out the winter mass coverage, you can tap in today. But you also want to tap into the song Encaged. Osborne always packs that heat.
Next up, we got JJUUJJUU, the classic psych band, back with another classic song called Nowhere. Shout out Phil for always supplying the most insane Desert Days lineups.
Honestly, there's nowhere I'd rather be. Fuck.
Yeah, seriously.
JJUUJJUU stays killing it. You know who also kills it? Hustler. Got members of the Zamboni Sound System with some hometown homies, bringing together some of the wildest grooves around with the track Mavericks. It's honestly one of their debut EPs, so you can go find it on all platforms.
Next up, we have the new and honestly one of the most exciting bands to come out of Cali right now. I'd call them one of the most exciting bands to come out of Cali right now.
Hey.
Earthship out with a new track called Do Fish Cry. It's the first release of theirs at all, and be prepared for Earthlings Fest when they are making their LA debut. This shit's gonna be sick.
Honestly, that is a good question though. Do you really feel like fish cry? They're fucking underwater. I don't know.
I have no idea.
They're gonna be playing Shebang this year too up in San Luis Obispo. You definitely need to go check that festival out in May. Couch Dog is another local legend up in the SLO area who recently won the Shebang Battle of the Band show at the Fremont Theater. They just dropped a new track called Dial Tone.
Up next, we have a brand new Riot Girl fucking punk ass shit called Bushfire. They're brand new to the scene and they just dropped a brand new EP. I'd say my favorite song is Shock Absorber. There's also this track called Fuck.
Hey, you better fucking absorb that shit into your eardrums today. You know what else you need to absorb? Velveteen's new track, Heathen.
Velveteen! Dude, Velveteen, they are honestly one of my favorite bands right now. They're experimenting with crazy noise effects and they're a two-piece. Like,
Yeah, honestly,
sick.
they're on some Tom Morello meets Guttermouth underground shit. I don't even know. There's honestly not words to describe what Velveteen's doing. You need to go check it out yourself.
Mm-hmm. They're running a couple of really insane shows, especially in April. So if you're in NorCal, stay gold. Check it out.
Facts. Well, we'll be back right after these. Alright, we're gonna get right back into the action here. We got our correspondent out in Europe right now, based in the present, coming live from Sweden. the ever-enchanting Murtzel. How's it going? What are we gonna get into today?
Spacey? Thank you for that introduction. Shit is going incredibly. It is cold out here. It is legit out here. We have incredible DIY communities out here, and we're about to head up some global tours in a minute here. But before we get started on that, I'm going to introduce to you an interview from a few months back with a very special guest, a tapped in person to the highest degree. I'm talking Psyched Radio, I'm talking 2 band projects, Fauxes, Choke Cherry, the one, the only, Scarlett. We got a 45-minute interview with this legend. So if you want to catch that whole thing, make sure you hop onto our YouTube, but we're going to have a couple clips for you here coming up, okay? So sit back, enjoy, and tell someone you love them today, okay?
I first ran into Scarlett when I was going to take photos for Margaritas Podridas at the Knockout in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And that was an incredible night. Like, Margaritas just knocked it out of the park. I ran into Loser Lee's that night too. That was incredible. And
Amazing.
You were there, and I met this girl, and she was she was a part of the radio. She was a part of Psyched Radio, and she was like, oh, and I was getting hyped on that, and she was like, oh, if you like the Psyched Radio, you should talk to this lady right here, and pointed to this gorgeous woman on stage, and I'm like, who is this person? Like, wow, okay. And then, you lit up with vibrancy when you were describing like the radio. And so I really just want to know more about you, and I want to give you the platform to, have a really loose kind of conversational, get to know you, and how you got into, what everything that you're doing now, and kind of just get your perspective on all this.
Damn, all right, that's awesome. I love it. Hi, my name's Scarlett. I am born and raised in San Francisco, and I am a musician and a radio DJ here in the Bay Area. And so I met our wonderful Ash at the Knockout. I was opening for Margaritas Podridas from Mexico City, and that we were on that bill with Gumby's Junk and Loser Lee's, who are 2 really wonderful local bands to shout out if you're into the DIY music scene. And yeah, my band is called Fauxes, Fauxes. We're like a psych rock band, and we started when we were all at UC Berkeley. I graduated in 2020, so that was my East Bay life. But now I also am a DJ at Psyched Radio. We started Psyched Radio over a year ago now, but it hasn't been around for very long. Considering the scale of the events that Psyched does, it's pretty impressive how quickly it all came together. But we throw a lot of live shows in the city. I have a radio show on Psyched. I'm used to being on the other end of a Zoom interview. This is really interesting for me because I'm not used to talking about myself. I'm like, oh, okay. Just trying to figure it out. But I interview people on my show a lot. I'm on Psyched Radio San Francisco Thursdays, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's on La Bestia Radio Mexico City on Fridays. So it's a double.
Fauxes Live is a freaking experience. For any of you that have not seen Fauxes, oh my god, definitely catch them. Like, you guys are up to some insane shit. But you were mentioning like the beginnings of Psyched Radio. Like, were you around in the beginning of that?
On Psyched Radio, we all were working at a different radio station, and we all left at the same time in solidarity with the founder of Psyched Radio. His name's Guillermo. And so it was like a project that was born out of that. But we were all at that other station for, I don't know, I mean, I was one of the newest ones. I had only been there for like 8 months. But yeah, so that's how that happened. And it started, like I said, summer of last year. So it's not particularly old. And then personally, it's in terms of like creative stuff. Yeah, I always was always like a weird kid, like, and not like weird kid in like a cool way, which is like, I don't know. I was like a very, very strange child. And for sure, looking back at it, I'm like, damn, like, I work with kids sometimes and I realize I'm like, oh wow, like I definitely was worse than all of them. But I really liked art. I really liked classical music actually. And so I grew up training as a classical singer. And so I sang at San Francisco Conservatory of Music and a lot of other places as a pretty young person. And then I went to high school at San Francisco School of the Arts, which is a public high school, and I went there for classical voice. So I trained there and did that. And a lot of incredible artists have come out of that school. I kind of realized at a certain point that it wasn't really quite right for me. At least like classical music. I love it a lot, but it gives me a lot of fear. I feel like it's such a personal thing. Vocal stuff is such a personal instrument. And when you have the rigidity of like a classical education with it, if you're a sensitive kid, it's definitely harder to enjoy it. And so I didn't really enjoy it as much. And I went to UC Berkeley and I didn't major in music. I double majored in Russian language and literature and international relations. Peace and conflict studies was my majors. But I was on a vocal scholarship with the music department. So I got free voice lessons and like did stuff like that, which was really cool. And I am so thankful for that opportunity. And I ended up liking classical music a little bit more, getting a little braver, but still being really timid. Like timid to the point when I was a teenager, timid to the point that I would get on stage and no sound would come out of my mouth timid. Like terrifying stage fright, you know, like just absolutely shut me down. And yeah, so then like getting used to it, trying to figure out how to work that out as time went by. And then I liked Berkeley, but you know, it's still a very intense environment. Even if it's not a performing arts school, like it's Berkeley. People are intense at Berkeley. But at Berkeley, I ended up, I was in that choir and I was with a friend of mine and he had a band. And he was like, you want to sing vocals, like back up in our band? I was like, sure. And that's how I met Nick, the guitarist of this band. And we've been playing music together ever since. And yeah, and then I started my own, like I called Nick up and I was like, hey, we have a band night for this one event at the co-op I lived at. And I was throwing the party and I was like, I want to play. Nick, do you want to? And I sent him a bunch of stuff that I was into at the time. And he was like really into it. And we both really got into it, and that's how this band started. So very cool stuff. But yeah, when I was younger, I loved music more than anything. I always have, but I was like really scared of doing it, and to the point where I couldn't. So it's cool to do this now, and it's funny too because I really like performing now, and people always like that's not what I thought you would have turned out to be later on. Because I mean, for those of you who haven't seen a Fauxes show, I definitely like being on stage, but I feel like a lot of
you can't fight that energy. Oh my god, like you were on the ground at one point. I got a killer shot of you. Like I was so stoked on that shot.
Favorite shots. I love that shot. That is the hottest shot of me that I've ever damn seen. It is so good. It's like on the floor. There's an arm over my face. There's a mic.
Oh god. And there's just this pair of bare feet in the background of the photo. I think Nick. The bare feet.
Yeah, because he has to move things with his toes. Hold on just 1 second. He has to move his pedals with his toes. And so he can't do it with shoes on.
Yo, so first up we have Revoir with his music video Into Core. In this one, he's normal. In this one, he's a little goofy.
Next up, witches, we got Death Valley Girls with Island in the Sky. They've been brewing up their craft lately, making a bunch of visuals. So here's the self-titled track.
You are what you see.
to the wrap up, where we're gonna wrap up. I'm very excited to get high right now. Big shout out to Basic Cable Programming for throwing My Slutty Valentine and everything that they're up to this year. They're definitely one of the best people in LA throwing any kind of DIY show, and just shout out to all their banger lineups.
Yeah, you already know love is in the air and spring is among us. Shout out to everyone that came to North Hollywood earlier last month too for Crush Me Fest. They all crushed it in the crowd too. Yeah, you know,
Damn it, what's her name?
Scarlett from Fauxes and Psyched Radio, killing it up in the Bay Area, keeping you all up to date with psych rock from around the world.
We're getting ready for a big 2023. Clear Vision is up to some crazy shit, and we are always looking for submissions, so dial in, tap in whenever you can. Catch us next week at Pigs next show in LA at the Zebulon. We're gonna be there slinging some magazines to any lucky folks that catch us there and recognize us.
Yeah, and shout out Punk Monk. They're throwing one of their first shows next weekend with Dunk Pacino,
Roy G and the Biv.
Hey, let's go. And the day before that, on March 18th, there's also a fire psych rock show at HM 157, Historical Monument 157.
We got Voices on Tape and this motherfucker right here. We're gonna be loving, living, having a good time.
As always, you can dial up 1-800-TAP-THE-FUCK-IN. Subscribe, like, and comment today. Share the vibes around. And if you're an artist, ever want to come perform in LA on some coverage, feel free to call us, let us know.
Catch our newest zine, available now, mañana, today.